Alrighty, welcome to Mindful Test Taking's Zoom webinar. We're excited to be sharing this material with everyone. My name is John Neville. I'm the founder of Mindful Test Taking. I've been working with academic students and helping them reduce their test anxiety with mindfulness-based techniques since 2010. So at this point, it's been about 8 years. And results have been really encouraging over the years. You know, the vast majority of students do report feeling noticeably calmer during the tests, primarily because we combine two ingredients. And those two main ingredients are visualization and progressive relaxation. And I'm going to be talking more about those throughout the webinar today. But I'm going to jump right into the slides. And yeah, if you wouldn't mind just muting yourself until you have a question. Just the background noise. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, so we work with middle and high school, college and graduate level students. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, you know, once they get to about 13 or 14, if they're 13 or 14, we do ask our students to have a parent join them. But once they get to 15 or higher, we are really, you know, they are old enough and mature enough to be involved in a one-on-one coaching session with our mindfulness coaches and instructors. Just a little bit about me, and I'm, you know, like we'll go into my story deeper in a second, but I graduated from Stanford with a Bachelor of Sciences in Applied Mathematics in 2006. And then I attended the University of Oxford in 2009 and did their one-year-long Master's in Financial Economics program. And I started practicing mindfulness in 2008. And it was about 2 to 3 years after that that I really realized that sharing the power of mindfulness with people was really my calling. So today's talk and webinar is going to be about how to earn higher scores with less stress, how to make mindfulness fun and practical and effective. There's no meditation cushions that are required. You don't have to be able to sit in lotus, right? We're doing stuff with people lying down, sitting in a chair. And then I think, as I've mentioned, we help students reduce test anxiety before test day even arrives. We do arm them with a couple of tools that that they can use during the actual test itself. But the vast majority of our benefits, of our program, involves having them visualize and progressively relax so that they reduce their test anxiety before test day shows up. And then most students out there with test anxiety are struggling through it. They're trying to force their way through it. They're trying to act through it. And stress and anxiety are generally a sign of internal conflict. And when you can dismantle and unwind that conflict with mindfulness-based techniques, then a whole new world of ease and excellence become available to you. Test anxiety is everywhere. According to the American Test Anxieties Association, over 33% of students suffer from moderate to acute test anxiety. Most students, when they look around themselves, are going to be seeing poor models for how to test well. You see people white-knuckling the mouse, gripping the pen, gripping the pencil. Everyone's rushing through the tests. They're not breathing well. Their posture's poor. They're hunched over because they don't realize the connection between having good circulation and being able to think clearly and posture and things of that nature. I am concerned about our planet's, especially our country's health, and mindfulness is a lot about how to, as your mindfulness practice grows, you're going to see your own health issues and challenges diminish as well. So I will be talking about that. And then most students don't even really realize that test anxiety is a thing, right? Because most students just think that it's normal to be in a state of nervousness or panic or overwhelm during an actual test. So we will be addressing all of these today. We are here to serve. We are here to help you all, educate you all, connect you all with whatever resources are required for you and your children to excel in school, to improve their performance in school, and to make life just in general easier and healthier for them. And then lastly is the free gift. If you stay through until the end of the of the webinar, you will be, you will have access to a free gift, which is usually $150. All right, so this webinar is for you or your child if you really care about your performance in school. Mindfulness can help with motivation, but that is not our business model. Our business model and our program are designed to help students that care almost too much, that they get tense and tight during the actual tests themselves. We also help students that feel overwhelmed while they're studying, so that's one that we've had a lot of success with. This webinar is also for you if you actually believe that you don't need to get stressed out in order to perform better in school. Most of our students take themselves and their futures and their performance in school very seriously, and rightfully so. And our program is very health-centric, right? Americans especially, but people in the Western world are obsessed with improving themselves. And we think that improving your health, belongs at the center of the self-improvement and personal development movement. So, and we work with students who are tired of being stressed and overwhelmed all the time. And we also work with students that have a big life-changing test, such as the ACT, SAT, GMAT, MCAT, LSAT, GRE, bar exam, you name it. If it's a test, we can help you reduce your anxiety about it. As well as we do work with students that kind of have that regularly recurring test anxiety throughout the course of a semester or an academic year. Test anxiety is something our students learn to take responsibility for how they feel under pressure. Nothing can make you tense up. The external world can influence you, it can impact you, but ultimately control over your body and mind has to do with the relationship between your brain and your body. And that's very much about what mindfulness is all about, is helping students take control over their nerves and over their stress. Whenever you're feeling stressed or anxious, physical tension is always present. So using mindfulness-based approaches and strategies and tools to reduce your level of physical tension will reduce your level of stress and anxiety, which will then improve your performance in school and boost your test scores. This also, and I've also talked about with a lot of our families, the fact that admission rates into college and graduate school are down. From the time that I got into Stanford in 2002 until now, the admission rate has been cut by 66%. It was 11% when I got in, and now it's about 4%. And that's true of admission rates across the country. As students and families in emerging market countries and economies such as Brazil, India, and China become wealthier, they can now, it's easier for them to afford sending their children to American universities. So you are seeing that across the country. Our program is here to help you become someone who is able to stay calm under pressure. Our students also are able to study more productively and more efficiently, finishing their homework sooner and getting more precious hours of sleep. We work with a lot of athletic students or students that perform on stage or artistic and creative students, and they all notice a boost in their ability to perform in sports and in the arts, and especially socially and while presenting in front of the class as well, because they're carrying less stress and tension and anxiety. Okay, let's talk about the advantages of our program, right? I've worked with hundreds of students in the last 8 years. I myself have overcome back pain, insomnia, chronic stress, and anxiety and overwhelm through the principles that I've actually put into this program. So if it's in this program, I have used it to improve my own health and well-being. And there is nothing in this program that I suggest that I have not used myself, over and over hundreds of times and seen the benefits for myself. So as I mentioned, I graduated with a math degree, and my first job was actually trading stocks and stock options on the New York Stock Exchange during the financial crisis of 2007, 8, and 9. And needless to say, I got really stressed out. I was trading 150 different stocks at once. I had 7 different computer screens in front of my face for about 9 hours a day. And I got really stressed out. I had a hard time unwinding when I got home from work at the end of a long day, and the crowded, busy Manhattan streets and life didn't make it easier, obviously. So I went through a period of pretty intense insomnia. I was sleeping for about 4 hours a night, which made my stress and anxiety worse. And it became this pretty vicious cycle. Around that same time, I was practicing, starting in 2006, I started a following the breath meditation. And I wasn't really sure what was supposed to be happening, but I stuck with it. And it actually kind of made me more internal, more introverted, because I didn't really know what was supposed to be happening. And I think it actually made the situation worse. I think if I had been more, externally focused, I think if I had been more engaged with friends and passionate hobbies outside of school, I think I would have noticed a greater reduction in my stress and anxiety. I think if I had been engaged in activities that would have helped me take my mind off of things, then that would have been nice. But the good news is that I stuck with it, and that I found a mindfulness coach who really knew what he was doing. And I switched over from the following the breath out of the nose meditation into a body scan, which I will address later in this webinar. And once I started focusing on the body scan, and I realized that being able to relax was a skill that you could, reliably and systematically learn over time, I noticed a lot of positive changes. And within 4 to 5 months of practicing the body scan every day for about 15 minutes or so, sometimes more, after 4 months, I gained the clarity to leave Wall Street. And I realized that being in the intense environment of finance was not for me. I attended Oxford's Master's in Financial Economics program, thinking that mindfulness was a hobby and not a career, and a year later realized that it really was my calling. I came back to Houston, where I was born and raised, and tutored calculus and geometry on the side to pay my bills. And I underwent an intense, I'd say 6 to 7 year period of personal study. I had a lot of stress and tension. Still, even after a few months of practicing mindfulness, it takes time. And I, was still learning about how to release all this tension that I had been carrying around for decades. I thought long and hard about getting a PhD in psychology, and ultimately, came to the conclusion that, I ultimately came to the conclusion that getting a PhD in psychology would actually deepen my stress, because it was such an intense left brain cognitive program. So I decided to start to study things that, in studying them, would help me feel better. So I got my teacher training in yoga. I became a master practitioner of neurolinguistic programming. I became a certified hypnotherapist and studied medical qigong. I studied some somatic psychology and some nutrition as well. And I found out that across all of these modalities, they shared the goal and the mission of reducing tension from the body. So my own philosophy, took shape. And I call that philosophy energetic fitness. Strength training gives you bigger muscles. Cardiovascular exercise gives you leaner muscles. And then what I call energetic fitness gives you more relaxed muscles. So meditation, yoga, breath work, acupressure, massage, right? They all share the quality of being able to improve your ability to physically relax. And the more that you practice these modalities, the more relaxed your body becomes. And I started sharing these principles with my clients as a academic and performance and life coach. And my clients and students loved it, and they still do, and they have ever since. My own health and well-being are actually stronger than ever, and I continue to enjoy watching my own journey as I improve my own ability to relax as well. So as I said, I've actually taken all of these principles and deposited them into our own program, right? We have tons of articles, instructional videos, meditation and mindfulness audios that are filled with, pragmatic wisdom, such as whenever you're thinking a negative thought, you're tensing up your body. Whenever you're thinking a positive thought, you're relaxing your body. So becoming more mindful, which means becoming more physically relaxed, makes you a less negative, more positive person. We also talk about the benefits of an alkaline diet and how eating a more alkaline diet can neutralize acidity, lactic acid buildup, which is essentially tension and inflammation from the body. We talk about how rushing never works. Most people rush their way through life, and it actually creates a cloudy state of mind. So here's for some actual pragmatic value for you. We actually teach, 3 very different phases. Learn to activate mindful awareness is the first phase. We then teach students to, how to visualize the test-taking scenario or studying at home to engage their subconscious mind. And then we teach them and, encourage them to practice mindfulness regularly, ideally daily, with the aid of our audios and videos and all of our articles and our whole program. So what does activating mindful awareness, as I say in step 1, look like? And we actually do this in the first hour of our work with students. Our first hour of work after the consultation involves teaching students how to activate mindful awareness. And we start by doing this by showing them and guiding them through memories in which they felt present and relaxed. Most of us have felt present before, whether or not we actually realize it. But we've had moments on vacation or when we were out in nature when we just felt really calm and at peace and engaged in whatever we were doing, lost in the moment, so to speak. And we actually have our students close their eyes and relive these memories. And when they relive these memories, their body begins to re-elicit the state of presence, which is why we call it the peak state elicitation. And there's very clear characteristics of being present. There's the calm, quiet mind. There's your relaxed muscles and relaxed body. There's an ease and an evenness in your breathing. And there's a fluid blood flow, a fluid energy flow that's happening. Now, the driving force of your strength of presence or flow state has to do with how relaxed your body is, right? We compare the human body to water. Just like water can exist as in ice, as a solid, as water, as a liquid, and as steam in gaseous form, you have a physical, emotional, and mental body, so to speak. And when you're not present or when you're stressed out or tense, your physical body is tense, your emotions are blocked, and your thoughts are cloudy. And when you're present, your physical body is relaxed, your emotions are flowing, and your thoughts are clear. Now, to become a more mentally clear or emotionally fluid or stable person, you must also become more physically relaxed. So we place a high priority on physical relaxation in our program. For you to go and transform in any one realm, you must transform in all 3 realms, which is why physical relaxation is the hallmark of our program. Which brings us to progressive relaxation. Now, progressive relaxation is the fundamental principle of mindfulness, and the classic way to do it is through the body scan meditation, where you consciously feel and relax your body from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. And there's a body scan on our website, right there under that URL. You can also find it on the resources page. It's about 8 minutes long. And you can lie down or sit in a chair and consciously feel and relax your body once. And then when you listen to this, to the track a second time, either back to back or the next day, or you're going to notice that likely you have an improved ability to relax. And that is what mindfulness is all about. And when I was taught that in 2008, my life changed for good and for the better and forever. And it was there that I realized that higher states of consciousness are simply deeper states of relaxation. So people talk about higher states of consciousness. We all want to access them. Few of us actually realize that deeper states of relaxation are higher states of consciousness. And if you can purify your body of tension and stress, especially physical tension, you're going to be able to access those higher states of consciousness. Now, from there, and again, this is still in the first hour of our work with students, we show them the fundamental way to activate mindful awareness, and we call it the reset. And once you learn how to do it, you'll be able to practice mindfulness anytime, anywhere in just 60 seconds. And of course, we encourage that you do it for longer periods of time. But the formal instruction for the reset is to be still. You can close your eyes if you wish. Most people do that. And to allow your whole body to progressively relax. And once you can do that, you're going to have a lot of confidence in your ability to use mindfulness to calm yourself down, especially during a test or when you're studying. And that is one of the 2 techniques that we actually show our students. And once they can do that, they can confidently practice mindfulness anytime, anywhere. However, meditation and mindfulness are generally general, right? They're general state enhancers. They calm you down in general, both now and just kind of across your life. It would take a lot of generic mindfulness or meditation practices to sufficiently reduce your test anxiety, which is what brings us to specific techniques. Specific techniques. Affirmations are a specific technique when you're using them to change how you feel in a specific context. For example, I feel calm and relaxed while I take tests is a specific mindfulness technique because you are directing the power of calm and relaxation into how you feel while you're taking a test. Visualization is a really important piece of how to utilize a specific technique. There's a very important technique called emotional freedom technique, or EFT tapping for short, which again directs the power of mindfulness into specific patterns and scenarios. Using visualization and language is how we engage your subconscious mind, right? And as soon as you imagine that you are doing something, your body's going to get tricked into believing that situation is actually happening. So we have students, imagine that they're biting into a lemon and they start to salivate, and then we have them imagine that they're studying or taking a test, and their body tenses up. And that's actually a good thing for us because once we can get them to a point where they can stay calm and relaxed while visualizing, then they're ready to actually walk in and engage with the actual physical scenario itself, and they're going to feel a change. They're going to feel a shift. This is what I've been talking about here. And then they can apply this formula of visualization and relaxation towards other areas as well. People have overcome panic attacks. They've reduced the intensity of migraines. They have gotten over breakups much more easily and more effectively with our mindfulness-based techniques and program. We encourage our students to practice for 10 to 15 minutes a day with our audios and with our techniques as well. And that's a big part of our program, right? We really want our students to benefit from our principles for many years to come. And the vast majority can see the benefits of that. And, when I check in with them after our program, they are still practicing away. Our program is consistent with acupuncture, massage, yoga, nutritional detox, right? All of these modalities and, all of these forms of holistic healing share our focus on being able to release tension from the body. And this is going on worldwide, right? We did not invent this concept. We have just really taken it on and really taken it to a very, very deep level. But there are many, many companies out there. I don't know too many that are going this deep with test taking, but there's a lot about public speaking and nutrition and, right? I mean, this is a very, very big deal. And this wisdom has frankly been around for thousands of years. The power of strengthening your relaxation response. Our students notice enhanced confidence across all areas of their life, right? They notice more social confidence. They do better in sports. They perform better on stage. Their artistic talents and creativity improve. They become more emotionally stable and mentally clear. Their symptoms of ADD and ADHD reduce as well. There's just not a whole lot of human ailments that I don't think, like physical tension does not contribute to. So I really feel strongly that the human immune system can improve the vast majority of health ailments out there. And when you reduce the tension in your body, you're going to empower your immune system to get stronger. So those are the 3 steps is to, that's how to learn, that's how to activate mindful awareness, which again, we teach in the first hour of our work with students. There's how to combine mindfulness with visualization to actually direct the power of presence into specific areas. And this is how to utilize, or this is, how we encourage our students to utilize our tools at home. And again, you can check out mindfultesttaking.com/resources. And the free gift for those of you that have stayed this long is a free coaching call, a discovery call with me. It's usually $150 for 50 minutes, but because you've taken the time to join us for this webinar, you can absolutely set up a call with me, and I promise you I will not hard sell you on anything. I will not pressure you. I'm a very big believer in not pressuring people to engage in some sort of program. It's just going to be an assessment of whether or not this program is a fit for you. I will be going more in depth into what we do and how we do it. And from there, the ball will be entirely in your court. Change does take commitment. So we are going to, we do work with students that have that motivation, that have that drive to create the change for themselves. Discipline is a big part of the program as well. But here is the link. You can sign up for a discovery call at mindfultesttaking.com/discovery. This offer is good for the next 3 days. So please do act fast if you feel called. And again, it's mindfultesttaking.com/discovery. And you will be working directly with me, the founder, John Neville, over Zoom, over video conference.